Good morning. Welcome to Momtalk Thursday. This is Divya, your parenting coach and your mom friend. And we go live every Thursday here on my Instagram to answer अगर आपके कोई भी छोटे मोटे parenting related questions है या motherhood related questions है, here I am to answer that. अगर आप पहली बार ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं then welcome for connecting. And अगर आप फिर से ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं तो थैंक यू सो मच. अगर आप पहली बार ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, अगर आप चाहते हैं कि मैं आपका कोई क्वेश्चन का आंसर दूं, देन यू कैन पुट द क्वेश्चन इन द बॉटम राइट क्वेश्चन मार्क पे, ओके, एंड आई विल टेक द क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम देयर. हाय एकता, हेलो ओम, थैंक यू एकता. एस प्रिंसेस, हेलो एस प्रिंसेस. सो क्या नया चल रहा है? प्लीज टेक माय नेम. आई सेड ओम राइट? ओमेश, सॉरी ओमेश. So hi Umesh. तो क्या नया चल रहा है? So few things I've started. एक on YouTube I go every day and I pick up one question and I do a small 5-minute videos. Because मुझे ये लगता है कि इतने सारे questions आते हैं ना, हर एक का reply करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है बहुत बार. So what I do is मेरे अगर DM पे, Instagram DM पे या मेरे email पे या फिर Facebook पे अगर कोई भी question आता है, I just pick any one of them. I go to YouTube every day. I just answer that question because मुझे ये लगता है कि अगर एक मदर या एक फादर कहीं से पूछ रहे हैं तो किसी और को भी सेम क्वेश्चन हो सकता है मेरे से, ओके. एंड इफ यू आर न्यू हियर देन व्हाटएवर क्वेश्चंस यू हैव ना, उसको बॉटम राइट क्वेश्चन मार्क में डालिए एंड आई विल बी हैप्पी टू हेल्प यू. व्हाट एल्स इज हैपनिंग न्यू टुडे? I think from my end what new is happening is positive discipline का workshop is happening this weekend. अगर आपने रजिस्टर नहीं करा है तो प्लीज रजिस्टर इट. आई कैन टेल यू माई लाइफ ट्रांसफॉर्म व्हेन आई लर्न पॉजिटिव पेरेंटिंग फ्रॉम पॉजिटिव डिसिप्लिन फ्रॉम जूली, एंड आई वांट टू गिव यू दोज टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंटली आई वांट यू टू अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग विद इन योर चाइल्ड. ठीक है, तो अगर आपको ये वर्कशॉप ज्वाइन करनी है तो इट इज नॉट ओनली फॉर लाइक क्विक फिक्सेस, इट इज बेसिकली टू अंडरस्टैंड योर चाइल्ड डीपर and how to discipline a child with firmness and kindness at the same time. Okay, हम लोग कभी कभी डिसिप्लिन को ना वो पनिशमेंट के हिसाब से ले लेते हैं. दैट्स नॉट डिसिप्लिन. डिसिप्लिन इज व्हेन यू आर एक्चुअली encouraging a child, okay, to do better. Okay, how can I register for it? You can register, you can DM me, I will send you the link. Okay, and I'll also put it on my stories today. So only one day is left and only 4 seats are left. So if you want to join in, do join in today. And why only 4 seats? Because I am doing a very small group, because मुझे चाहिए कि whoever joins in, I can give a personal attention to them. And once you are in the workshop, we do a group call every month. We do a video call every month where we interact with each other, where we help each other, where I answer all your questions live. Okay, it's a Zoom call. So now let's start getting into the questions for the day. How to keep baby calm and composed? Preeti, your baby is not supposed to be calm and composed. Your baby is supposed to cry. Your baby is supposed to tell what, क्योंकि उसको और कुछ क्या करेगा बताओ मुझे. Your question is how to keep a baby calm and composed. Okay, now if a baby has come, and I'm assuming when you say baby, your child is below the age of 1. When your baby has come into this world, the baby is basically looking for your presence. Okay, the only soothing thing that a baby feels is your presence. When you hug a baby, when you love a baby, that's the only way they feel supported, they feel safe. अगर बच्चा रो रहा है then there is definitely a reason for it, and you know that, you know, या तो उनकी नींद पूरी नहीं हुई होती है, या फिर they need a diaper change, or they are hungry, or they are something itching. अब बच्चा और किसी और तरीके से कैसे बताएगा आपको? ओके, सो हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमारा बच्चा बहुत चिड़ कर रहा है, यू नो, बहुत चिल्ला रही है या बहुत चिल्ला रहा है, पता नहीं क्या रीजन है. इट इज जस्ट देयर वे ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन टू यू. Once your child is above the age of 18 months, that is when they start getting into the tantrums. That is when they start, you know, जिसे कहते हैं ना, they start understanding that they are not you. So they start testing your boundaries more. Okay, so babies are supposed to be like that. If you want to keep them calm and composed, then hold them a lot, give them a lot of love, you know. They need your touch and feel to feel safe. When they feel safe, their emotional brain regulates automatically and they will be more calmer. Okay, all those who are here for the first time and is asking me questions, if you have a question, bottom right में put it in the question mark wala column में, and please write the age of your child and what exactly is the question. If you're going to ask me something like how to keep my baby calm, it's a very generic question. Okay, so I'll give you a very generic answer only to that. Okay. Okay. Jyoti, I'll take your question a little later because I have answered your question yesterday also. Marva Kathak, my kids always fight and abuse and always boring and mobile all the time. They have no hobbies. पहली बात तो मुझे आप अपने बच्चों की एज बताएंगे तो बेटर रहेगा. Your child is fighting. If there are two boys or two girls or if there are two siblings, they will fight. Okay, it is up to you how you handle it. सेकेंड पॉइंट, अगर आप उनकी हर फाइट के अंदर घुसोगे तो फाइट बढ़ेगी. सेकेंड पॉइंट, व्हेन दे आर अब्यूजिंग, दैट मीन्स कि वो उन्होंने कहीं से वो बात सीखी है. योर रोल एज अ पेरेंट इज टू हैव हाउस रूल्स कि भैया घर में ये लैंग्वेज नहीं यूज होगी. You have not mentioned the age of your child, so I do not know what your age is. If they are between the age of 6 to 8 or 6 to 10, you can always tell them that we will not use this language at home. हम ये language घर में नहीं use करेंगे. Okay? Instead of saying ये मत बोलो, ऐसे मत बोलो, you can always say कि I understand कि तुम्हें उस पर गुस्सा आया है, उसने ये करा है, या I understand उसने X करा है और तुम्हें ऐसा फील हो रहा है, समझ में आ रहा है, but that doesn't mean that you abuse. If your child is abusing, then you have to see कि कहीं वो घर का माहौल तो नहीं है, क्योंकि अगर वो घर का माहौल है और आपका बच्चा abuse कर रहा है, then I think माहौल चेंज करने की जरूरत है before आप बच्चे को बोलो कि abuse ना करे. थर्ड थिंग दैट यू आस्क मी कि मेरा बच्चा कह रहा है कि वो बोर होता रहता है. वो बोर इसलिए होता रहता है और उसको मोबाइल इसलिए चाहिए क्योंकि उसके पास और कुछ करने के लिए नहीं है. हमें ये लगता है कि हमारे बच्चे को ऑटोमेटिकली हॉबीज पता चल जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं होता है. कल ही किसी ने मेरे से पूछा था, मैम हाउ डू आई नो कि मेरे बच्चे का इंटरेस्ट किस चीज में. अगर आप बच्चे को चीजों में एक्सप्लोर करने देंगे ना, अगर आप देखेंगे कि बच्चे डिफरेंट चीजें एक्सप्लोर कर रहे हैं, तभी उसको पता चलेगा ना उसको क्या पसंद है और क्या पसंद नहीं है. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि बच्चा आया ऊपर से, ठीक है, दुनिया में आया और उसको ऑलरेडी पता है कि मुझे ये पसंद है और मुझे ये पसंद नहीं है. यू हैव टू गिव दैट एक्सपोजर टू द चाइल्ड इन वॉट एवर वे यू कैन. ओके, आपको नहीं पता कि कल बच्चे का किस चीज में इंटरेस्ट आ जाए, बट वो किस चीज में इंटरेस्ट आ जाए उसके लिए आपको वो चीज थोड़ी बहुत इंट्रोड्यूस तो करनी पड़ेगी ना. मेरे बच्चे की कोई हॉबी नहीं है. हॉबी तब होगी जब आप उसको डिफरेंट या तो एक्टिविटीज में डालो या उसको उसके साथ वो चीजें करो. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल बहुत पेरेंट्स कहते हैं बट मैम मैं हर एक्टिविटी अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकती बच्चे के साथ. कोई बात नहीं, आप उसके साथ खेल तो सकते हो. जैसे अगर आपको अपने बच्चे को ड्राइंग में डालना है, या फिर अगर आपको बच्चे को चेस खिलानी है, या अगर आपको बच्चे को एज सिंपल एज क्रिकेट खिलाना है, भगाना है, कुछ भी करना है, आप तो कर सकते हो उसके साथ. आप थोड़ा करोगे, उसी से आपको समझ आ जाएगा कि आपके बच्चे को उसमें कितना इंटरेस्ट है. I'll give you a small example, like for मेरी जो मदर इन लॉ है ना, वो बहुत ज्यादा वाइल्ड लाइफ और नेशनल जियोग्राफिक्स देखती है. ठीक है, मैं इतना नहीं देखती हूँ, मेरा हस्बैंड भी बहुत देखते हैं. सडनली जोरावर हैज पिक दैट अप, ओके, बिकॉज दे वर वॉचिंग, ही सेड मेरे को भी देखना है. एंड नाउ उसको इतना ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट है कि ही नोज इट मोर देन आई नो इट. मतलब मेरे को तो 1% नॉलेज होगी तो उसको एटलीस्ट 70-80% नॉलेज है. सो आपको बच्चों को डिफरेंट चीजों में एक्सपोजर देना पड़ेगा. हॉबीज ऐसे ही नहीं आ जाती है. हॉबीज के लिए पेरेंट्स को बच्चों को इनकरेज करना पड़ता है. हमें लगता है हमने बच्चा पैदा कर दिया, उसके बाद बच्चा अपने आप फिगर आउट कर ले वो कैसे करेगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. जितने भी रिच और सक्सेसफुल पेरेंट्स होते हैं ना, आप एक चीज देखना, दे ऑलवेज सेलेक्ट व्हाट गेम्स, what activities, what hobbies with the child will have. They at least expose them to those hobbies once, and then they see which one are they good at, and then they excel in it. So you have to expose your child to different activities, different things, so that उसको पता तो चले available क्या है. Okay? मेरा बच्चा कह रहा है मैं बोर हो रहा हूँ और उसको मोबाइल चाहिए क्योंकि उसके पास और कुछ करने के लिए नहीं है. अगर आप बच्चे से मोबाइल ले लेंगे, देन कोई ऑल्टरनेट तो दो उसको. there is something that you can do, we also teach in positive discipline, is that keep a jar of things कि अगर मोबाइल फोन नहीं है तो आप क्या कर सकते हो, and together make a list of things together, and then put those chit there. When your child is not using the mobile, you can ask your child कि जाओ pick up one of the things from there and you can see what you want to do in it. It can be as simple as reading a book, it can be as simple as coloring, it can as simple be as going out, playing something, craft, helping mom, whatever it is. अगर आपने बच्चे को ऑप्शन ही नहीं दे तो बच्चे को ऑटोमेटिकली थोड़ी पता चल जाएगा कि मैंने क्या करना है. So one thing I want to tell parents very clearly is, see, don't expect your child to unfold and know things automatically. Okay? हमें पता है, हम सोशल मीडिया में देखते हैं, हमें लगता है अरे यार ये बंदे ने ऐसे बनाया, उसको 6 साल में पता था उसको चेस खेलना है, वो उसको 8 साल में पता था कि उसको स्विमिंग करनी है, उसको 10 साल में पता था कि उसको क्रिकेट खेलना है. हाँ, कुछ बच्चे होते हैं जिनको पता होता है, बट बहुत बच्चे होते हैं जिनको नहीं पता होता. So as a parent, you expose them to different things so that they know what they like, what they do not like, and they can take their hobbies or their interests to another level. ठीक है? तो ये आपके 4 क्वेश्चन थे जिसके मैंने आंसर दिए. Now you figure out how you are going to help your children get off phone and do something productive. Another thing I'll tell you, I was talking to this mother and she was telling me that, so this mother was telling me कि मेरा बच्चा बहुत ज़्यादा फोन पे रहता है. Okay? And let me tell you how she was talking to me. She was talking to me like this, हाँ यार दिव्या, पता है क्या, मेरा जो बच्चा है ना वो पूरा टाइम ना फोन पे रहता है, बता ना मैं क्या करूं. मैंने पता है उसको क्या बोला, मैंने कहा पहले तो तुम अपना फोन नीचे रखो. कहती नहीं यार 1 मिनट, बस एक ना इंस्टाग्राम पोस्ट है वो पोस्ट करने दे, मैं बस अभी तेरे से बात करती हूँ. मैंने उसको पूछा, मैंने कहा क्या ये इंस्टाग्राम पोस्ट तो आधे घंटे बाद कर सकती है. कहती हाँ. कहती बट प्रॉब्लम मेरी नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम मेरी बेटी की है यार, मेरा बेटी पूरा टाइम फोन पे रहती है. अब मैं वहां बैठ के ये सोच रही हूँ कि भाई तू पहले अपने आप को तो देख ले, तू पूरा टाइम फोन पे है. यू आर टॉकिंग टू मी बट यू आर नॉट इवन लुकिंग एट मी. व्हाई? बिकॉज फॉर यू दैट इंस्टाग्राम पोस्ट इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट. सो बच्चा इज गोइंग टू मॉडल व्हाट यू डू. If you are going to be on phone and you're expecting your child not to be on the phone, then that's a very wrong expectation. If you want your children to read books, but you have never even opened a book, you have never even opened a novel, you're not doing anything, then that's a wrong expectation. One day, no, Zorawar ko I said, Zorawar, you're not, your duty is to put the maths on the table, you're not putting the maths. You know what he said? He said, Mama, मेरा तो चलो मैथ डालने का ड्यूटी है, आपका क्या ड्यूटी है? And I'm like, हाँ बात तो सही है, because I have help at home and she does everything, she will set up the table, she'll pick up everything from the table and everything. And I'm like, he's so correct. उसको तो मैं बोल रही हूँ, you put the mat on the table, you have to pick up your own plate and everything. What are we doing? So before बच्चे को कुछ भी बोलने से पहले ना खुद कर लीजिए. Okay? तो अगर आपके घर में एब्यूजिव लैंग्वेज यूज हो रही है, अगर आपके घर में मोबाइल फोन यूज हो रहा है, अगर आपके घर में आप खुद ही कुछ और नहीं कर रहे हैं अपार्ट फ्रॉम जस्ट नॉर्मल रूटीन थिंग्स, यू डोंट हैव एन हॉबी, बच्चा किससे वो चीज सीखेगा? ओके, सो आई होप आई हैव आंसर्ड योर क्वेश्चन. डू कम डाउन एंड लेट मी नो. ठीक है, दे आर 10 years and one is 9 years. So 9 and 10 years is fine. You can still ask them, explore them. They can go out and play. If they say I do not know what to play, then give them certain ideas. But after that, they have to figure it out what to play. अगर आप उनको मोबाइल देंगे ना तो वो जो इंक्विजिटिवनेस होती है ना कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं, वो भी नहीं होगा. ओके, सो लेट प्ले, लेट देम गेट बोर्ड. व्हेन दे गेट बोर्ड दे विल ऑटोमेटिकली फिगर आउट क्या करना है मेरे को. ओके, ओके. एकता सेज, दिव्या, माय सन Satyak mostly turns on stories on Alexa. Sometimes I want silence. So Ekta, what do you want? Is it fine he listens to Alexa stories most of the time? Will it affect his concentration? I don't think so. My son does the same. I think it's a great way of listening, as you know, there are different ways that children understand things. Okay, there are certain children who are very auditory. उनको आप कोई भी चीज सुना दो, उनको सारी चीजें याद रहती है. There are certain children who are very visuals. They have to see the books. They will learn through the books. There are certain kids who are very kinesthetic. They want to feel something to learn it. So if your child is listening to a full audio book, it's a good thing. Your child can remember everything. Like, I am not at all auditory. If you keep talking to me after 2-3 minutes, I will not remember what you're saying unless I write it down. That's why I always write everything down. I'm very visual. I need to move my hands to remember it, to store it. My own son is very auditory. He can listen to books and books and books on Alexa. Like YouTube pe, he will ask me to put Little Miss, Little Men, Little Miss, you know, and then we have Piggy and Elephant books. He will just listen to it. And I listen to it, but after 2-3 minutes, I zone out because that is not the way I learn it. So if your son is listening to stories, it's a good way, right? It's a very good way. They are learning it. The only thing is later on, you can always go and check, Acha, what did you, Acha, story mein kya hua? That's a good way to know whether they were just listening or it was just a noise. And it also gives them this thing that, you know, my mother is interested in what I am doing. See, a lot of time, no, connection banana is not a very difficult thing with children. Okay, it's just that we don't pay attention. अगर आप बच्चे से एक बहुत सिंपल सी चीज पूछ लोगे ना, अच्छा आपने क्या देखा या फिर उसमें क्या हुआ, अच्छा मुझे बताओ क्या हुआ, they feel very important. Okay, like आजकल when my son is whenever he watches Amazon some documentary, and if I'm not watching it with him, generally I watch with him because that is our special time these days. If I'm not watching with him because I have some work, then what I do is later on during dinner time I will definitely ask him कि आज ये क्या देखा तुमने, what did you learn about ostrich. अच्छा, और आधा टाइम मुझे पता भी नहीं होता कि उसने वो जो मुझे इन्फॉर्मेशन बता रहा है ना, मुझे भी नहीं पता होती है. So it's a good information that I know. Secondly, उनका confidence बढ़ता है that there is something that I know that my mother or my father doesn't know. Because generally if you see, we are always telling our kid what to do. Correct? But when a kid is telling me what they know and I do not know, imagine their confidence going 10 times higher. Okay? However, it can get into overconfidence also because one day my son told me, Mama, aapko itna bhi nahi aata hai. You know? And I know what I told him. I said, sabko sab kuch nahi aata hai, Zorawar. There will be a lot of things that I know that you don't know. There's a lot of things that Papa will know that I don't know. So in this world, not everybody knows everything. We only learn things that interests us. So I said, नहीं, मुझे सब कुछ नहीं आता. और I said, आपको भी सब कुछ नहीं आ सकता, पापा को भी सब कुछ नहीं आ सकता. I said, सिर्फ गूगल है जिसको काफी कुछ पता है. So I said, don't ever say it to anybody, not even your friends. अच्छा, तेरे को इतना भी नहीं आता है. I said, that is not a good way to say, because how will you feel if tomorrow you do not know something and your friend turns around and say, अरे तुझे इतना भी नहीं आता है. I said, it's better to tell them, आपको नहीं आता, let me help you. मैं बताती हूँ या मैं बताता हूँ. He said, हाँ बात तो सही है mom. So it's a good thing, right? So Ekta, let him listen to it. All those who are new here, please put your questions in the question mark. I cannot see the questions in the chat. It goes up very, 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 very quickly in here. Okay, my 9-year-old boy don't want to sit for study at all, not even for 15 minutes. He always says it's very confusing, and if sometimes he sits on the other side, he play with something else or play with pencil during study time. Not how to manage this, ma'am. He is telling you it is confusing. He is clearly telling you it is confusing. When in life you do not know how a certain thing is done, you either avoid it. It's called procrastination. अगर आपके बच्चे को चीज समझ में ही नहीं आ रही है, you will always see 90-95% of the kids will avoid it. But अगर उसको वो subject बहुत अच्छा लगता है और they are good at that subject, they will still do it. Now, whose responsibility is to build that confidence in the child? Teachers. एक टीचर जिसके पास 20, 25, 30 बच्चे हैं, वो आपके बच्चे के पेस के हिसाब से नहीं चलेगी. वो सारे बच्चों के पेस के हिसाब से चलेगी. Okay? So if your child is confused, your 9-year-old is confused कोई सब्जेक्ट को लेके, then instead of forcing your child, it's good to have an open communication and ask, अच्छा इसमें what is confusing for you? How can I help you? और अगर आपको भी नहीं आता है, इट्स ओके तो बोलो, अच्छा ये सब्जेक्ट तो मुझे भी नहीं आता है, रुको, लेट अस गूगल या ऑनलाइन जाके लेट मी चेक एंड कम बैक एंड टेल यू इसको कैसे पढ़ाना है. देखो, अगर आप बच्चे के ऊपर पूरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी छोड़ दोगे ना पढ़ने के लिए, देन इट इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी अ पावर स्ट्रगल. It has to be a joint effort where you are a support system to the child who is studying. Your role as a parent is to support a child when a child is studying. Now, support means environmentally supporting your child. If your child is stuck somewhere, then you help your child with it. You know, ये नहीं कि भैया it's your responsibility, तुम पढ़ो. ऐसा, this is not how you can expect your child to study. Okay, you have to support your child. Your child is clearly saying, instead of you being like कि नहीं, you know, तुम पढ़ो, तुम 5 मिनट भी नहीं पढ़ रहे हो, तुम 10 मिनट भी नहीं पढ़ रहे हो, it is important that you understand वो किस चीज पे confused है. You sit with your child and try to make the child understand that. अगर आपको भी नहीं आता, use Google, use AI. There are too many things these days to even just go and ask, मुझे ये अपने बच्चे को पढ़ाना है, what is the best way to do it? The chat GPT will give you all the details. Okay, and most importantly, start small. सपोज वो सब्जेक्ट मैथ्स है एंड उसको डिवीजन नहीं आ रही है, या फिर उसको कोई पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम करना नहीं आ रहा है, स्टार्ट विद एवरीथिंग इन वन डे. ओके, उसको बोल चल, विल स्टार्ट विद 10 मिनट्स, विल स्टार्ट विद 2 क्वेश्चंस, देन यू 1 वीक के बाद गो टू 4 क्वेश्चंस, देन यू गो टू 8 क्वेश्चंस, एंड व्हेन ही इज लिटिल कॉन्फिडेंट, आई रियली वांट यू टू टेल हिम, सी हाउ फार यू हैव कम. ये देख, तेरे को नहीं आता था, राइट? नाउ यू नो इट. एक्सीलेंट. यू नो, दिस वे व्हेन यू डू दिस एवरी टाइम विद अ चाइल्ड का ना, चाइल्ड स्टार्ट्स अंडरस्टैंडिंग वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इन लाइफ, कि एवरीथिंग हैज टू बी लर्नड. एवरीथिंग हैज टू बी लर्नड. सब, जब वो पैदा हुआ था उसको चलना भी नहीं आता था, बट हमने सिखाया ना उसको. और ये चीज हम लोग पेरेंट्स भी भूल जाते हैं. How many of you feel gentle parenting is little, I will not say gentle parenting, because पता है क्या है, बहुत सारे इंडियन पेरेंट्स ने gentle parenting की बैंड बजा के रखी हुई है, क्योंकि उनको लगता है कि gentle parenting is all about permissiveness, कि यार मतलब बच्चे को तो कुछ बोलो ही मत, you know, you have to be always please, thank you, no, this, you know, be very polite. That is not gentle parenting. बच्चे की हर बात मानना is not gentle parenting, it is permissive parenting. So I'm not going to use gentle parenting term. I'm going to use a term which I've started using these days, is clear parenting. What do you feel that जो traditional parenting होता था और जो आजकल का parenting है, that you are trying to do these days, that you're listening to me, you're trying different things, you're trying not to hit your child, you're trying to set boundaries which is firm and kind at the same time, you know, you're trying to listen to your child. How difficult it is? Is it easy or is it difficult? Is it easy or is it difficult? For anybody who starts a different kind of parenting, or who is trying to switch their parenting style, who is trying to be more calmer, let me tell you, it is not easy at the beginning. Right? It is not at all easy at the beginning. It is difficult, and it is meant to be difficult. ये भी याद रखो. Okay? Starting के थोड़ा time, when you just start, it is difficult. Why it is difficult? Because it's a change. Because it's a change. But when that change वाला जो phase होता है, that goes away, no, that is when you start getting used to it. जैसे साइकिल चलाना जब शुरू किया था, initially how it was cycling for us, cycling was very difficult. You know, हमें पता भी नहीं, हम गिरते पड़ते ऐसे वैसे करते करते we started. But after like riding it for like 6, 7 times, 8 times, 10 times, आज कोई आपको बोलो चलो साइकिल चलाओ, zoom करके चलाओगे, because it is practice. You know what to do next, and that is called, एक होता है कि you know, you get so, अब तो it just comes very naturally to you. Same is with your children. When your children start something new, they struggle, and a lot of children will start giving up because they struggle. If they are good at it naturally, they will do it. If they are not good at it naturally, they will give up. If your child is good at football, naturally your child will love to do it. If your child is not good at football naturally and he is struggling and everybody else is doing it, uska first reaction is मेरे को करना ही नहीं है. Nobody likes to lose. But that is a point where you have to teach your child to at least try. To keep telling your child कि भैया it is okay. सबको सब कुछ नहीं आता है, even मुझे भी नहीं आता है. But if we try slowly, we can become better. Okay? Okay, so I hope that was helpful. And किसने पूछा था मेरे से? I'm trying everything to make him sit and make study time fun and interesting, but still he feels he is not interested. Okay, so she's saying I'm trying everything to make him sit and study, but if he's not feeling it, then there is some other reason. Then you need routines in that case, darling. You need to understand how to set routines. Sometimes you have to set a boundary and be like, नहीं ये करना है तो करना ही है करके, you know. Like when I was doing double additions with my son, there was a time, first time, second time तो उसको समझ में नहीं आया carry forward क्या होता है. It's okay, you know, I'll tell him just do one, just do twice, because I'm focusing on the concept and not actually him doing it. But अगर आप उसको वो इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं शो करेगा और अगर आप चिल्लाओगे, if it is a stressful kind of a situation, a child doesn't learn anything. Okay, so for a child to learn or even for you to learn, it can never be a stressful situation. The mind doesn't work only because sometimes हमारे पास information होती है because but we are in stress, we do not know how to say it. ठीक है? Ma'am, your advice means a lot to me, so I want to know that when are you in that situation, what will you do? What situation, Jyoti? Jyoti, did I miss your question, Jyoti? Okay. Sorry. Okay, Jyoti, I'll take your question now. My son is 5 years. How I make him not to go through items like a ball because today from that my teacup has fallen and my husband yelled on him and he put him in the bathroom. Please suggest what to do in the situation, how not to go through items like a ball. मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा ज्योति. You are telling me that okay, the crux I got is that your child broke something, correct? Now मेरा एक बहुत ही सिंपल सा रूल है लाइफ में. Okay, till the time your child is 6-7 years of age, it is your responsibility to keep them safe and take away things that you think are breakable. Okay, or have very straight house rules. No football in the house, no ball in the house, because भाई बच्चा खेलेगा तो चीजें टूट सकती है. If your child is opening cupboards and doing things, the better thing is to lock it, prevent it. Okay, you cannot force a child or tell a child ये नहीं करना है. They are inquisitive, they are little, वो चलते इधर है, सोचते इधर है, करते कुछ और है. That is how they are. Their mind is everywhere. So you cannot blame a child for it. And never ever, in my opinion, he's going through bag. I am still not getting you, Jyoti. He is going through bag, towel. Achha, he's throwing bag and towel. Okay. So if he's throwing bag and towel, then you have to kind of stop him to do that. Okay, when your child is angry and he's throwing things around, then the best thing is to take your child out of there and to put him in a situation where your child is safe and things are safe. Okay, very simple thing I'll give. One day when Zorawar was very, very angry, this is when he was around 3.5 years old or something like that. So Zorawar was very angry. He's 3.5 years old and I can see that मेरे husband का mobile वहाँ side पे पड़ा हुआ था. Okay, and I'm trying to calm him down. My husband is trying to calm him down, but he is like crying and crying and crying. So what I did with him was I told my husband very clearly, I said phone उठा लो, नहीं तो उसने phone उठा के फेंक देना है तुम्हारा, and then do not yell at him. Because you cannot expect a 3.5-year-old child जो अभी खेल रहा है, मतलब जो अभी गुस्से में है, to manage his anger in such a way कि उसके हाथ में जो आ रहा है वो नहीं, उसको लगेगा अरे ये फोन है कितना एक्सपेंसिव है, इसको नहीं फेंकूंगा वो फेंकूंगा, उसको अभी ये समझ में नहीं आया. Okay, now Jyoti is saying he is playing with it. If पहली बात तो please put all your question together. It is very difficult to answer one by one. Okay, so if your child is playing with it, then you need house rules, Jyoti. It's as simple as that. Not playing with towels, or you know, if you do this again, I will have to take it away from you because it can hurt you. It's a very simple thing. See, I keep telling you, either you can learn bit by bit here on Instagram and everything, or you can just come join my workshop this weekend. You know, it's just a 2-weekend workshop where I will tell you exactly how to set routines, how to have boundaries, what to say to a child depending on their personality. Okay, every child is different. It is how you hold boundaries with firmness and kindness. Okay. Okay. Oh, today we have finished all the questions. Wow. Sahi hai yaar. If anyone have any more questions, you can put in the comment box. If any one of you would like to come online and ask a question personally to me, then please, type me and send me a request and I'll get you online. We can talk for good 10 to 15 minutes, but only one question at a time. Okay, and only type me if you're okay with the recording, because everything gets recorded and get posted on social media. So if you so if you're okay with coming online, then come online. Jenny says, ma'am, please take your questions. Jenny, I cannot see your question in the question answer tab. I cannot see it. I'm sorry. Let me just check it again, my darling. No, I cannot see it. If you can put it there, I will see it. Yeah. Can you touch upon teenage parenting tips? This is a very broad question. You have to be very specific on what you want, because teenage is a very, 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 very different. Coming. Okay, Jenny, just let me know your questions in the question bank and I will take it up. All of you who are typing questions in the chat, please know, for me the chat goes very quickly, because everybody who has joined both show karta hai, everybody who has left wo show karta hai, and then the question starts showing. So for me it just goes very quickly. Okay, so I always say please put it in the question answer tab. It's easier for me. And anyone who wants to come online and talk to me, or you want me to take your question personally, just send me a friend request or let me know in the chat, and I will call you online. Okay, Jenny, 1 second. I just saw your question. Door and cry until I come out. These days I don't inform. He's fine too. Even after trying all gentle parenting strategies, he's not stopping hitting. He hits me a lot and others. How can your child hit you? Then you're not doing gentle parenting, you're doing permissive parenting. But your questions are starting from the middle, Jenny. How old is your child? I do not know. I cannot see it anywhere. Jenny, I'm sorry, but I'm not able to find your questions in one place. It is in bits and pieces, and you're writing in bits and pieces. Please understand, there are so many things happening. If you write in bits and pieces, I cannot go through each one of them and answer it for you. So it's my humble request, to make it easy for me, please write your question together with your child age and put it in the question mark tab, which is on the bottom right. Okay, if I see it there, I'll answer it there. Okay. Tab tak, let me take Misha's question again. If my child don't want to study at all during final exam days, where I'm trying everything to make him comfortable with it, what to do, ma'am? He's in class 3. Again, routines. Your child has to study. There is no other option there. See, the problem comes when you give the power to your child. The problem comes when, in terms of gentle parenting, you're not parenting at all. You're thinking कि यार वो कैसे मनाऊं उसको. बच्चे को मनाना नहीं है, बच्चे को बाउंड्री सेट करनी है. आपको लगता है मेरा बच्चा रोज हंसते हंसते आता है, आओ मम्मा आज हम ये करेंगे. नहीं, रूटीन सेट करोगे, रूटीन्स फॉलो करोगे. इफ यू आर स्टर्न, इफ यू आर वेरी फर्म विद द चाइल्ड दैट दिस इज व्हाट वी डिस्कस, दिस इज व्हाट नीड्स टू हैपन, a child over a point of time will know that my mother means business. If she says yes, it's a yes. If she says no, it's a no. And along with that, we keep telling our children what is right, what is wrong. We start building their confidence so that they themselves want to do it. But wo jo they themselves want to do it will only come once you start setting routines with them. Once you start setting boundaries with them. If I was in your situation and I have a 8-year-old who is not ready to study during exams, and I have not done any of these things before of setting routines, I will actually start from today. Like today, I'll give you the example. I will tell my child very clearly, your exams is in X days. We have to study these many subjects. Tell me which subjects you like and where are you struggling. I don't want to study. That is not an option, my darling. We have to study. Okay? You can decide what you want to study. Okay? What you want to study first, what you want to study second. You can tell me where you are struggling and what you can do it yourself. Okay? And we can together decide at what time you are going to study and how much you are going to study. So, am I here rude to my child? What am I here? मैं डांट रही हूँ अपने बच्चे को? मैं चिल्ला रही हूँ अपने बच्चे पे? नहीं. What am I here if I'm talking to my child like this? I am just being very firm with my child. I'm giving him that little bit of power that you can decide, my darling, what you want to study. Then he says, Mama, you love study and exams more than me. I will do later. And वो अगर वो later आके कर जाता है, मतलब I'm sorry, I didn't love you. See, your children are going to say things to you. You hate me. You're the worst mama in the whole world. You love this more. You love that more. It is how it is. Only your child is not saying it. Tomorrow your child says, Mama, I do not know. You love, I don't know, you love, you're not letting me drink. You think I'm not responsible. You don't love me anymore. You're the worst mama in the whole world. Will you let your child drink? Will you let your child smoke? Of course not. You're going to find a way not to do it. So if your child says, Mama, you love study more in exams more than me. No, darling, I don't love study in exams more than you. Of course not. I love you the most. However, study is important, right? So let's decide how we are going to do it. Because you know it is important, I know it is important. So let's decide it together. How about this answer? If your child says, I'll do it later, later when? प्रॉब्लम ये होता है जब वो लेटर बोल के आएगा ना, और अगर वो नहीं करेगा तुम खिंचोगे उसके ऊपर, because that is not defined. So if my child says I'll do it later, my next question to my child is very simple. Tell me a time, because I'm not going to keep asking you again and again. In any of this conversation, was I rude to my child? Please tell me. What was I to my child? I was just firm with my child. And I very clearly communicated to my child, no, you are important. I love you a lot. However, study is also important. Simple way of that, Dr. Siggy says, is the and method. I love you and studies are important too. Where we tag both of them together. Okay? You have to lay boundaries clearly with your child without yelling. But if they don't do what they have promised, then there is the problem. Then you have to remind them, and next day you have to tell them that last time you did not do this. So today you will first finish it and go, darling. कल की बात बताती हूँ आपको मैं, नीलम. My son has this Amazon, again, as I told you, he's into Amazon a lot. Okay. So his schedule is like this. He comes home. He gets his free time. We have our own time together. Then he has to do his certain sheets, his homework, whatever it is. Then he has to play something which we have decided. Again, it's on the schedule, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's written there. He can go and check today what he's supposed to do. And then after everything that we have agreed to, har din there is a different activity he has to do. Everything that he has done in that day, then at 6:15, if all those activities are done, he can come home and watch Amazon for 30 minutes. That is something he has to earn. Okay, watching that Amazon. Okay. Now, yesterday he told me, Mama, let me watch it today first. I will pakka 110% do it. I'll do everything else later. I said, theek hai, I trust you and you can watch it. I'm not going to that time tell him, no, if you don't do it, then what? What I've realized is the moment I tell this to my child that if you don't do it, then what I'm telling is I'm telling him he's not even capable of keeping his promise. Okay. So he watched his Amazon. Of course, he came back. There was little delay. I was also busy on my one-on-one calls and everything. मैं जब free हुई, I told him, चल, let's do our homework and all. करा. But then he was not ready to do one activity जो sheet पे लिखी थी. And I told him, I said, you promised me that you will do it. He said, yes. I said, now you are not doing it. He said, Mama, मेरा मन नहीं है. I said, now imagine if Mama doesn't keep her promises. Will you trust Mama the next time? Today, you asked me for an exception and you said, Mama, I'll pakka do it later. Now is that later may you're not able to keep your promise. And I know sometimes it's difficult to keep a promise. But darling, tell me next time if you ask me like this, will Mama agree or not? And my child is only 6-year-old, and logically speaking, for younger children, keeping promises is very difficult. Okay, below the age of 7, बच्चे foresight नहीं कर पाते तो उनको promise रखना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. Okay, but because I have done so much work with my son and I have done so many things with my son, I know how to deal with him. He knows keeping promises are important because I keep my promises, and we keep having this conversation about trust, about promises a lot. Okay, so this is how you deal with it. So your problem here is not that he is not studying. The problem here is you start feeling bad and then you do not know how to set a boundary and then you feel वो कुछ कर नहीं रहा है. Did you get me? Answer me in the comments that if you understood what is missing in your life. And all of you here, I'm telling one last time, if you are interested to learn how to set the simple things that I'm telling you, but in a framework, knowing exactly what to say, when to say, then join my positive discipline workshop, which is happening this weekend. Okay, I'm going to put the link in my stories today. Only 5 seats are left. It's a very small group. Why? Because I want to give personal attention to everybody. It's a 2-weekend workshop, so all I need from you is 8 hours of your time. That's all. Okay, itna to aap kar sakte ho. And then I will teach you everything about boundary setting, consequences, praises, why praise doesn't work, how you're really spoiling your child by just praising your child, how sticker chart doesn't work all the time because you're not thinking long term. Okay, and there is a much more. I'll share the link. You can go through it. If you think it is something that you want for a long-term benefit of your child, then join it. If you're looking for quick fixes कि ये कर लूँ, वो कर लूँ, bandage parenting करनी है तो please मत join करो. That is not what my community is about. Okay. Okay, we'll take one last question today. Is there anyone who wants to come online and talk to me? First, let me check in the question in comments. Quickly, I'm going to ask this question. Otherwise, I'll take somebody there. Oh, Misha, you've already booked the yesterday. Oh, cool. Then I look forward to seeing you there, Misha, tomorrow. Oh, yes, you were there in the masterclass yesterday. Oh, I remember. Cool. Yes, I look forward to meeting at you too. Okay. So, what was I saying? Anyone who wants to come online and talk to me, tell me quickly. Then I'll get you online. Otherwise, I'll take one last question. Okay. मेरी 12 बजे फिर आज एक one-on-one call है. And before anyone replies, let me tell you how children are. So generally मैं शाम को calls नहीं लेती हूँ. What time are your classes? It's on weekend, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. This Saturday, Sunday, and next Saturday, Sunday. And recordings will be provided. But most importantly, पता है क्या होगा? You will be a part of my positive parenting community. So we meet every month for a group call where whatever questions you have, you can just ask me straight. Okay, it's a group call where, and we learn different things. Whenever I learn something, I come and teach you also. Like last month, we did something about Mom Power 8. Okay, which was about, there are 8 things that I taught my community. Very different thing about consequences, about mindset, about calmness. So because as I said, एक दिन में चीजें change नहीं होती है. It takes time, and you need someone to support you during that time. Okay. Okay, so before I take another question, I want to share something personal, okay? मुझे एकदम याद आया, so I'm just telling it to you because ये सबके साथ होता है. So my son knows that evening में मैं calls नहीं लेती हूँ, but yesterday there was an important call, so I asked the person कि ठीक है 5:15 I'll take that one-on-one call, okay? So my son का chess class got over at 5. My help was not there, जिसके साथ वो generally नीचे जाता है. And I'm like, मैं 5:15 हो गए, मैं call कैसे लूँ, okay? And this guy just sensed it. कि मम्मा को बिजी है, मम्मा इज बिजी, बिकॉज मेरे सडनली ना मेरा बिहेवियर चेंज हो जाता है। मेरे को होता है तुझे बस मैं सेटल कर दूं सो दैट आई कैन टेक माई कॉल, सो मैं थोड़ा जल्दबाजी में आ जाती हूँ। एंड आई आस्क्ड माय मदर इन लॉ, आई सेड कैन यू प्लीज टेक हिम डाउन मम्मा प्लीज। सो माय मदर लाइक हाँ हाँ मैं ले जाती हूँ, शी इज वेरी स्वीट दैट वे। तो एंड देन ना फटाफट आई एम पैकिंग हिज बैग एंड आई सेड हाँ आप नीचे जाओ नीचे जाओ। नो मम्मा यू डोंट लव मी। मैं सोच रही हूँ 5-5 हो गए, मैं देख रही हूँ 5-5 हो गए, अच्छा यू डोंट लव मी मम्मा। यहाँ से तो मुझे चढ़ रहा है गुस्सा। मैंने कहा यू डोंट लव मी, अब क्या कर दिया मैंने 5-5 में दैट आई डोंट लव यू। मैंने कहा क्या हुआ बेटा, यू डोंट लव मी। मैंने कहा पहले स्ट्रेट अवे, मैंने कहा टॉक टू मी प्रॉपर्ली एंड टेल मी व्हाट हैपेंड, यू आर नॉट लेटिंग मी टेक टाइगर डाउन। पहले तो मैं 2 मिनट सोचा, मैंने कहा टाइगर क्या चीज है भाई, कौन सा टाइगर है, किसकी बात कर रहा है ये। मैंने कहा कौन सा टाइगर, कहते वो वाला टाइगर, यू आर नॉट टेकिंग मी लेटिंग मी टेक डाउन। मैं साथ में टाइम देख रही हूँ 5-7। मैंने कहा ले जाओ, मैंने कहा मना किया आपको, ओके। सो मैंने कहा चलो सेटल हो गया। आई केम टू माई स्पेस, लैपटॉप खोला, Then he said, Mama, where is my Puma bag? I'm like, oh goodness, नहीं भाई, अब ये Puma bag कहाँ से ढूंढ के लाऊं इसका मैं। मैंने कहा बेटा मुझे पता नहीं है, अभी आप ये रेड बैग ही ले जाओ, मेरे को Puma bag ही चाहिए। एंड आई नो ही इज डूइंग ऑल दिस बिकॉज ही नोज कि मेरा 10 मिनट में मेरी मतलब 5 मिनट में मेरी कॉल है, ओके। सो आई लुक्ड एट हिम एंड लिटरली आई लुक्ड एट हिम लाइक दिस, लाइक गुस्से में, यू नो, बिकॉज आई वाज सो एंग्री। And he's like, why are you giving me eyes? I said, I'm giving you eyes because आपको पता है कि आप जानबूझ के कर रहे हो. You can take the red bag and go down, but आपको Puma bag ही चाहिए. No, mama. And he started smiling. He said, no, mama, ऐसा नहीं है. मुझे मेरा Puma bag चाहिए क्योंकि मुझे बॉटल भी लेके जानी है, मुझे टाइगर भी लेके जाना है, मुझे ये भी लेके जाना है. And फिर दादी के not holding, giving me whole lecture. And I'm looking at time. 12 हो गए, चलो. And I'm like, thank God, first जहाँ पहली चीज ढूंढी वही पड़ा था. And I took the Puma bag, I packed everything for him. I said, now go. And I said, please do not disturb me unless it's an emergency. Then he's standing on the door and he's telling me, Mama, in case there is fire, should I tell you? I'm like, yes, please. In case I get hurt, should I call you? I said, yes, please. So what is an emergency? Now imagine at 5:15, this boy is discussing with me what is emergency. Okay? Why I'm sharing with you all this is कि it is, ये सारे बच्चे करते हैं, ओके, मेरा बच्चा भी करता है. द मोमेंट दे नो दैट दे कैन ट्विस्ट आवर हैंड्स, यू नो, दे विल ट्राई देयर लेवल बेस्ट. एंड ये यहाँ पे एंड नहीं हुआ. जाते जाते इज लाइक, मम्मा कैन आई प्लीज हैव अ चॉकलेट. मैंने कहा फॉर व्हाट, मतलब मैंने कहा चॉकलेट बीच में कहाँ से आ गई, ये तो डिस्कशन पॉइंट ही नहीं था. कहता नो आई फील लाइक हैविंग अ चॉकलेट. मैंने कहा फील लाइक हैविंग अ चॉकलेट क्या होता है बेटा. मैंने कहा सॉरी, यू नो व्हेन टू हैव अ चॉकलेट. आई नो बट आज मन कर रहा है. और मैं देख रही हूँ, मैंने कहा 5:16 हो गए. मैंने कहा आगे मेरी क्लाइंट एंड आई एम नॉट देयर एंड यू नो एंड आई डोंट लाइक टू बी लेट. सो आई एम लाइक कि आई सेड नो. देन फिर फैल गए सर नीचे. आई वॉन्ट टू हैव अ चॉकलेट एंड आई वॉन्ट टू डू दिस एंड आई वॉन्ट टू डू दैट. नाउ हियर कम्स द थिंग. डू यू थिंक आई गेव हिम द चॉकलेट? Do you think I gave him the chocolate? I did not give him the chocolate. You know what I did? I came back, I messaged my client. I said, I'm very sorry. I'm going to be 10 minutes late. If you want to cancel, let me know. I can refund your money if you want it, or I can reschedule it. Otherwise, I'll come exactly at 5:30. You know, she messaged me. She said, it's okay, Divya. I'll wait for you for 10 minutes. Simple. Then again I went back to the crying baby and I told my son, I said, Bacha, sorry, today is not the day for the chocolate. And I said, I'm okay, my call has been cancelled. The moment he heard my call has been cancelled, this boy got up, chalo dadi chale. So you think the children are not smart? They are very smart. Why I'm sharing this with you is children sense you. Children know when they can take advantage of you. Children know when to throw a tantrum. चिल्ड्रन नो कि किस मम्मी को क्या बोल के मम्मी को बुरा लगेगा और बुरा नहीं लगेगा. ओके, सो लॉट ऑफ चिल्ड्रन डू दैट. इट इज हाउ वी डील विद इट. ओके, द मोमेंट अ चाइल्ड नोज दैट दे कैन नॉट होल्ड यू हॉस्टेज, दे विल ऑटोमेटिकली बैक डाउन. ठीक है. somebody wrote it is very funny. Yes, it is very funny. हमारे घर में ऐसी बातें बहुत होती है करके, you know, sometimes suddenly रोने लग जाता है. I'm like, ये क्या हो गया? So it's a part of parenting. But see, I always say this. There was a time my child used to have a meltdown for 2 hours. Now if a meltdown is for 10 minutes, I think I have achieved a lot in so many years. I cannot change his personality. I just have to parent as per his personality. Like a lot of people tell me, he is very picky, किसके साथ share करता है. I said पहले तो बिल्कुल share नहीं करता था. At least now he is sharing. See the progress. He doesn't talk to everybody. I said that's his choice. He's not the kind of a child who can go and talk to everybody, and I have to parent him accordingly. Okay? So sorry, थोड़ी ज़्यादा लंबी बात हो गई. I will take the question now. Okay, there's someone has been keep writing me again and again. I am sorry, I will take your question now. I'll take the question from the comment. Sorry guys, I'll take the questions from the comment. And someone wrote about a teen, so I would like to take that teen ka question. Pin comments, okay. My son is 13-year-old and has recently learned about adolescence in his class textbook, so he has a lot of questions. Can you please help me a little about how to answer sex or intercourse questions related to queries to a 13-year-old? I think the best way is that you use some books ka reference. See if there are books online for children to teach them as to what it is. Something as mama, what is sex? Your child can come and ask you that. You can be very plain and very scientific about it. You can be like, it is when two people love each other, and they can have an intercourse and blah blah blah. You can actually go through it. But to going through it, it is important that you see. I have not reached that age, so I cannot recommend what books to tell your son or what books you can introduce to your child. Okay. However, there is a very, very good book by True Buddy. सुन लो, True Buddy का एक बहुत अच्छा book है about Gulu. 1 second, if you give me a second, I'll tell you अब भी. Gulu वो adolescence के बारे में है. True Buddy, Gulu, adolescence. Or what you do is you just DM me. I will find that book and tell you. It's a very good book about puberty. The Essential Guide to Puberty for Boys. Okay, it's a very good book by True Buddy. Very nicely they have told about what hormones are, how boys feel, how it is natural for them to feel in a certain way. So this can be your starting point with your child. Okay, it can be a starting point with your child because they understand it's not abnormal. Okay, however, when you're having this kind of a question, kind of a conversation with your child, Shikha, I will highly recommend that you keep having an open conversation about them, about trusting other person's privacy, not getting into peer pressure, not bullying people, because all these are interconnected. Please remember. Okay, because as they get into adolescence, there's a lot of peer pressure happening. There's a lot of things in which they have to, तुम ये नहीं कर रहा है, तू वो नहीं कर रहा है, तू ऐसा है, तू वैसा है. That is how boys talk a lot of times. Because they will be asked to do things for the sake of doing it. So more than this important about intercourse and everything, it is important that you have conversations about other things as well with him. How he has to decide what is right and wrong. But for him to decide what is right and wrong, you have to teach him what the value system is, how to respect girls, how to respect other people, how to respect other person's body parts, how not to get into games that feels like, just because you want to feel cool, you will participate in a game, or just because you want to feel cool, you will say something to somebody else. Have these kinds of conversations also with your child, because they do not know what is right, what is wrong unless we tell them. Okay, like a lot of time, there is this mother from Australia who once told me that, my child doesn't know, Australia mein somebody was teasing the child a lot and the child was 12.5 at that time. And she said, isko nahi pata hai ki ye galat hai, and he also went ahead and did it. I said, did you ever had a conversation with the child that this, whatever, I can't tell you exactly what it was because it's personal information, but yeah, I said, did you ever tell your child that this incident or doing certain thing with a girl is a wrong thing? I said, you never said that. So how does your child know? Did you ever teach your child how to set a boundary? Did you ever tell your child how to respect the other person? Did you ever teach your child what is right, what is wrong? Okay, so have these conversations also with your child. It is very, very, very important. Okay, and if I find any other books on this, because see, my child has not reached that age, and neither have I consulted anybody till now who is facing this point, but I will take it up and let me do a post about it. Let me do my research, and soon let me make a reel or a carousel about it and give you resources through which you can go, you can skim through it, and you can then have a conversation with your child. But have a very open conversation with your child. The problem is India में इस टॉपिक के बारे में कोई बात ही नहीं करता है. प्रॉब्लम ही है. ठीक है. So all those जिनके मैंने questions नहीं लिए, I'm very sorry. I will try to take it up next time. Or let me take a screenshot. As I said, these days I am doing every day. I do one live session that I get on my DM, so I can pick any one of the questions that you have mentioned here. I started doing it because I realized सबकी problem एक ही होती है, more or less. सब बार. ठीक है. So with that, I have to go now. It's 11:55, and thank you so much for joining in. And I'm going to put the live. Whatever you like about the live, do put it in the comments so that I know what is that one thing that you liked about the live. Okay, so I'll see you next Thursday at 11 o'clock. Till then, bye.